You're listening to The Money Hour with your host, Tina Mitchell, and co-host Keelan Harvey on Alternative Talk AM 1150. Now, back to the show with local mortgage experts Tina Mitchell and Keelan Harvey.
Welcome back to the Money Hour on 1150 AM KKNW, the Saturday, January 25th show. I am your host, Tina Mitchell.
And I'm your co-host, Keelan Harvey.
We are your local mortgage experts. It's a great day to talk about money, and that's what the show is all about, how to make money, save money, so you can have a better quality of life for you and your family. If you're hearing our show at a different time or day, you are listening to a rebroadcast. If you would like to connect with the guests that we have on the show, please call the show at 1-855-400-1150. Again, that's 1-855-400-1150, or go online to themoneyhour.com. And you can also catch our show on podcast. Our first guest in studio, Claire Jones of Clarification Coaching, LLC, the 3 pillars of business success. Claire, welcome back into studio. So excited to have you here.
Yes, thank you. I always love being here.
Wonderful. And a little bit about Claire. Claire is a certified leadership coach and business consultant who helps badass entrepreneurs create systems that grow their business without burning out. Coming from a background in art history, she opened her first business back in 2014. Since then, she has gained a ton of experience helping small businesses with their development efforts and has become adept at seeing pain points and creating systematic solutions. Now she helps her clients create, implement, and learn systems focus on their 3 pillars of business success: sustainable schedules, marketing strategies, and overall business processes or processes. However you want to say it.
However you want to say it, right? Tomatoes. Claire, so it's been a while since we've seen you, and I'm curious, and I'm sure our listeners are too, what the heck have you been up to?
Yeah, I mean, I've been up to so many exciting projects. I recently, actually last month in December, launched my new Badass Biz Mastermind group, which I'm super excited for. And now I'm in the process of organizing and creating content for it, circling and focusing on the 3 pillars of business success as we've been talking about: sustainable schedules, marketing strategies, and overall business processes and systems.
Yeah, and who doesn't want to be a part of a badass mastermind group?
Just the name alone.
I know. Right? Dang, I should have come up with some name like badass. So it sounds so cool and so exciting, and I'm excited to watch the progression and see it all come together. Tell us about this new mastermind group.
Yeah, I've been running a mastermind group for a while now for one of my networking groups that I'm a part of, Women's Open Network. I've seen Tina
Shout
there
out
before.
To Women's Open
totally,
Network.
Yeah. It's a great group, and I've gotten such a good response from the participants and from the attendees, and they found that the group brainstorming and mastermind format gave them a variety of perspectives and expertise to tap into in a way that helped them actually address their own business obstacles directly. And so I decided to launch my own online mastermind group, kind of just making it more accessible to more people across the world. Ultimately, I mean, time zones might be a problem, but it's accessible. And I want to offer an in-depth library of expert resources that is paired with a welcoming, encouraging, and accountable community of badass business builders. Because all business builders are badass, in my opinion.
We are. That's why we build businesses. And if we're not badasses, we don't last very long.
Yeah,
what is it,
exactly.
2 years? 2 years and your doors closed. Once you're 2 years, you're good. And that means you're a badass.
Yeah, exactly.
I love that. It's so important. What's the saying? A bird of a feather flocks together.
Yeah.
So why not, if you really want to be successful, you need to surround yourself with successful people, and that includes resources, and especially a bunch of badasses. Like, why wouldn't you do that?
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit more about these resources that you're referring to that people have access to.
Yeah, totally. Well, I actually have about 15 years experience working with small businesses. I've been working with them for my entire career since I was a teenager. And so I have a very strong research background, and I also have an obsession with systems. And so when participants first join the group, I ask them what kind of resources they want or would find helpful in the first place. And then I tailor the content to address their particular business obstacles, because I'm acting as a trusted filter for the group, ultimately. For example, someone might be interested in learning more about creating contracts for their services, or creating email campaigns, learning how to use cash flow spreadsheets, or social media content calendars, or the best practices for LinkedIn. And so I post things like accountability posts, how-to videos, blog posts, and guest presenter masterclasses. And that's just in the free Facebook group. And I also have a paid VIP subscription where participants also get access to 2-hour Zoom mastermind sessions, as well as one-on-one support from me during business hours, because it's basically having this small business expert in your back pocket whenever you need to tap into them.
So exciting. And all those things that you listed make me very excited because systems and processes as well is an area that I'm passionate about. So, and I really love how you're asking, what do you want to have an answer to? What can I provide you a solution for? And that's what really some of these great groups are all about is getting feedback on what people want to know. So let's talk about the 3 pillars of business success that you mentioned: sustainable schedules, marketing strategies, and business processes.
Yeah, great question. As I've been working with these clients and getting more out into the community, I've been seeing that most of people's pain points and obstacles fall into these 3 categories. And so why is sustainable schedules important? It's because you can't pour from an empty cup. Your business's sustainability depends on your personal sustainability. And if you can't manage on a day-to-day basis and have a schedule that works for you, then you're just not going to get anywhere. And then marketing strategies are important because you need to make sales, point blank.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't have a business without making sales. And you need to do it with an intentional forethought to make sure that you're focusing your efforts and getting quality ROI for the time spent.
Yeah.
And then processes and systems are important because you need to have the right business tools and day-to-day routines to help keep yourself on track and work efficiently and effectively and productively.
So, Claire, how do you address those pain points specifically?
Sure, yeah. The sustainable schedules, we look at things like self-awareness, self-regulation, delegation, mental productivity, mindset, wellness and burnout, and overall time management. We need to look at those areas to make sure that your time is being spent smartly. For marketing strategies, we look at Google services, social media profiles, branding, customer engagement, and website development. And then for business processes, we look at things like financial processes and systems. Do you use QuickBooks Online? Stuff like that. Workflows, operation manuals, leadership, making decisions, employee engagement, motivation, and business relationships.
So that's really impressive, Claire, that you see things like leadership skills as a system.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of biased because I'm obsessed with systems. I make systems for literally everything. But a system is just a set of principles or procedures by which something is done. So it's like a methodology. And leadership skills, such as employee engagement, making decisions, and collaborating with others, are just methods or a series of actions conducted in a certain order or manner. So if you're trying to motivate employees to do something, you have to understand what motivates them, and that varies based on the individual.
Yeah.
And so when you're doing a series of actions to determine how to best motivate your employees, example system would be 1, determine the tasks that need to be done, 2, determine who is best suited for those tasks, and then 3, determine how to best motivate those particular individuals.
Yeah, it's so true. There's so many different areas, whether it's the special quality. It's kind of like the 5 love language. It's the same thing when you have a team member. What is their language, whether it's, quality time with you where you're taking them out for lunch or better yet, a cocktail, or if it's the way that you're recognizing for the responsibilities that they're doing. Of course, it could be money, but a lot of times it's not motivated by that. It may be their title that they have. There's so many different things that are going to motivate somebody to see that you recognize the value that they have on your team. And so it's just finding out how you can best connect. So think of it like you would a marriage, and think about it like the 5 love languages and what's important to them, not necessarily what you would think would be important to you.
Totally.
Yeah.
So let's talk about marketing a little bit, Claire. So what do you do for strategies around your marketing?
Well, something like audience engagement can totally be a system that you implement for marketing strategies. Research has shown that when you're approaching a cold prospect, for example, someone who's never heard of you, doesn't know who you are, doesn't have any idea that you exist, you need to create a touch point with them 20 to 50 times before they will engage with your services or products. And even if you have someone who is a warm inbound lead, which means someone who knows you and likes you enough to ask about your services or products, you need at least 5 to 12 touch points before they will engage. And you can totally make that into a system or a series of actions according to which something is done. So for example, there's a ton of great CRM software products out there that will track things like this, how many times you get in contact with someone. And you can keep track of your network connections, your prospects, your friends, even your family if you're organizing a family reunion or something like that. And you can track how many times you've contacted them and when and where you've contacted them and how close you are to engaging them in what you're trying to engage them with.
Yeah, and when we were sitting out and we were talking before we came into studio here, Claire had a couple minutes with you, and it kind of ties into what you first said as well, which I love it, is when you're doing your coaching, it really, you have the system and process that's set up in all these key areas that you need. And we're just talking right now, and this question was around marketing, but whether they need help in finding their target market or whether they need help on the content that they're doing, finding out where they're lacking, and then being able to plug and play into that. Just a really great service that you're providing. I love that. Claire, you're featuring these kinds of systems in your mastermind group, correct?
Yes, totally. I make sure that the content I post aligns with one of these 3 pillars. So maybe one week I'll do a how-to video on flexible time blocking to address sustainable schedules, or maybe I'll post a review of the best website hosts to address the marketing strategies pillar. Or maybe I'll run a workshop series on creating your own operations manual for the processes and systems.
Yeah. Time blocking. Oh my gosh. So important. Clockify. Look at Clockify. Clockify app?
No, I don't, but I run by my Google Calendar.
Okay. Yeah. A Clockify app is unbelievable in tracking. You can know exactly how much time you're spending on every single thing. So.
Yeah, that goes back to systems. And I think the most important thing people can do is to get educated, right? You're only limited to what you know.
Totally.
And being exposed to new ideas that you can implement, I think, is a game changer for anybody in business. And correct me if I'm wrong, anybody can have free access to your Facebook group and get all this wonderful resources and feedback, correct?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. I mean, everything is available in the free group, and I'm totally happy to have people join. I mean, they have to go through membership questions to make sure that they're the right people to join, because I don't want everyone and their mother coming in. But it would be totally free, and the workshop series would then be exclusive to the VIP subscription, which is $57 a month for the recurring and then $47 for a 6-month.
Yeah, that's so great. And I love that they actually have to complete something when they're coming into the group, because when you have something that's complimentary that they're not paying for, you do want to have the right audience. And when they feel that the need that they want to step up, it kind of gives you that already background of the areas that you can support them in. So
Totally.
I love that. So Claire, let's talk about how people can sign up, get more information on all the different platforms that you have to help them with their 3 pillars or your 3 pillars to business success.
Yeah, totally. Well, start with Facebook. Just search in the Facebook groups for Badass Biz Mastermind, or just put it into Google. Just remember that badass is one word.
Yeah, there you go. And just typing in the word badass is going to feel good.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And you're surrounding yourself with badasses. I mean, how much better can it get?
Yeah, it doesn't get too much better
I'm
than that.
feeling more badass just by saying badass.
I know. It feels good.
Yeah.
Claire, on that note, thank you so much for
Yes,
joining
thank
us
you.
in studio. It's always a pleasure to have you here. And it's also a pleasure to watch the evolution of your business and your platform growing. Very happy for you.
Yes, thank you.
Coming up next on the Money Hour, managing your personal brand, Matt Wong of T-Mobile, right here at 1150 AM, KKNW, after this short break.